Hi guys, welcome back to astrogirl, your source for all things mindset and mysticism. Today I have a special guest. Her name is Mikhaela and we're actually good friends. We used to work together, but now she's embarked on a new journey as a nutritionist. So I wanted to get her on to talk about gut health and how that connects to our mental health. So Mikhaela, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks, Jade. As she had mentioned earlier, I am a nutritionist. I specialize mainly in women's health and children's health. I finished my degree just over a year ago now, but I permanently work in workshops. I move around from schools to gyms to workplaces, educating everyone about the benefits of good nutrition.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that sounds like a lot. But how long have you been studying for, or when did you finish your accreditation?
Sure. So my course went for 3.5 years. So I finished it. It was halfway during last year, so during the lockdown in 2020. And then ever since then, I've been working full time doing it. So I work full time at a gym, and then I do my own business on the side as well.
Perfect. I think we'll get stuck into it. So can you explain to us, everyone at home, what is gut health and why is it so important?
Sure. So a healthy gut contains healthy bacteria and immune cells that ward off those infectious agents such as viruses, fungi, and bad bacteria. So it is very important to have a good gut health. It contributes to your immune system, to heart health, to brain health. It improves your mood, as well as improving your sleep, your digestion as well. So there's a whole range of things that your gut does help with. So I'm sure many of you guys have heard as well, your gut is your second brain. So having a good gut brain connection is really, really important. So, a troubled intestine can send those signals to your brain, as well as your brain sending those signals to your gut. So,
wow.
And trigger those emotions where you get butterflies in your stomachs, or those really gut-wrenching experiences where you feel sick or you feel nauseous. It's all intertwined. And there are many ways as well that you can improve your gut health. So consuming foods such as your pre and probiotics. Now your probiotics, they're living strains of bacteria that are on foods. Now these are your yogurts, your cheeses such as your cheddar and your cottage cheese, as well as kombucha. And then you've got your prebiotics. Now your prebiotics, they're foods that have fiber present. So it's your fruit, your vegetables, and your whole grains. So these foods here is what feed the good bacteria food within your gut. Okay. Consuming those foods 100% will improve your gut health, as well as, you've got exercise as well that will contribute. Meditation will help as well. Like I said earlier, it intertwines.
Big advocate for
helps with gut. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
You do mention probiotics though, and I know that comes in your yogurt, but it's also a supplement that we can take. And I do have a question on that. So are vitamins and supplements actually good for us, or are we better to take those in addition to what we eat, or just get them from our food?
Look, to be honest, it's a bit of both. So vitamins do play an important role in keeping the body healthy. But then again, supplements aren't for everyone. And a lot of people do take supplements without, medical advice, where it's not really needed. And that's where it can cause problems. Consuming too many supplements or too many vitamins can have a detrimental effect on their health. So, those who do have long-term restrictive weight loss diets, or who do have malabsorption problems, yes, 100% go for a supplement. But like I said earlier, always seek assistance from your medical advisor. So,
yeah. So, and for people who do take supplements, is that something that we can have short-term, or once we're on them, should we have them long-term, or long-term taking of supplements, do they kind of cause harm to our gut?
Look, it's different for everyone, like I said earlier. Some people, elderly people, do require to be on supplements for a longer period of time because they will have problems with absorbing those nutrients. So they may have to rely off those supplements. Whereas someone who is quite young, you could say healthy, and does consume a diet which is, a variety of good foods. So your fruit, your vegetables, your whole grains, having a good balanced diet. Not really. Yeah. I wouldn't. That's the key word, balance. Having a balanced diet, 100%. You wouldn't need to consume those supplements for a long period of time.
Yeah. You mentioned balance. I've just noticed that I have a block of chocolate right beside me. So, what is the recommended sugar intake, I guess, for a balanced diet? Because no one can cut sugar cold turkey. So how much can we actually have without it detrimenting our health too much, our mental health?
Well, that is such a great question, Jade. Again, it is different for everyone. And being someone who is totally against diets, I would say that I would never, ever put a value on how much sugar a person can have.
Okay.
100%. The reason being, and I speak to a lot of my clients about diets, and when it comes to them being on a diet, what often happens is they restrict themselves from eating your sugars or certain foods. And then when that food does become available or accessible to themselves, they can't stop. And this is what causes that binge eating cycle. Okay. You cut out that sugar for a long period of time. You see that sugar available at a party, or whether someone's, you're out for dessert somewhere or it's at home, you see it, you eat it, you can't stop. Okay. And this is where people hop into that cycle where they hop onto a diet for such a long period of time, lose all this weight, or get fantastic results. Then they crash and burn because they see all these sugars that they want. They gain all this weight again. Then they want to hop back onto that diet. Same thing happens. It's literally that cycle where people hop on over and over again. And it's called yo-yo dieting. So to answer your question, I can give you a value as to how much sugar you should consume per day.
Right. So basically, we shouldn't be measuring what we eat or how much of the bad stuff. Just if we feel like eating it, we should, but
100%.
don't restrict ourselves. Don't overdo it. That's really good advice. But for people who do have, I guess, really bad mental health, so for me, I suffer from anxiety, and my diet can really affect that at times. So what are the foods that you can recommend someone who suffers from anxiety that can help them ease and manage their symptoms?
Yeah. Look, there are a range of foods. You've got Brazil nuts, for example. They are quite high in selenium. Now, this will help to improve your mood by reducing the inflammation. Okay. You've also got eggs. Again, another one that's got serotonin involved within its chemical structure of the egg. Now, this helps to regulate your mood, your sleep, your memory as well, and your behavior. So, I'm just trying to think. You've got salmon, so fatty fish too. Salmon, sardines, trout. These foods are higher in omega-3. Now, omega-3 is a fatty acid that has a strong relationship with your cognitive function as well as your mental health. So we do recommend, or I recommend a lot to my clients to consume a lot of fatty fishes, part of their diet to help with their anxiety, as well as chamomile, whether it's in the form of tea. It's a herb that does help to reduce your anxiety levels. It's quite calming. It contains a range of antioxidants as well and anti-inflammatory properties, which will help to lower those inflammation that is associated with your anxiety.
Wow. Eggs. I would never have picked it. But it just reminds me of this time when I was going through a really stressful time a couple of years ago in 2019, and all of a sudden I just started eating a lot of eggs. Like I was intuitively drawn to eating a lot of eggs for some reason. And I'm not normally an egg person, but that's just crazy.
There you go. So eggs will help.
Eggs will help. Is there any way we should be eating those eggs to get the full benefits, or
consuming eggs in any way, it's not going to differ the amount of nutrition that you will consume or absorb from those foods.
Okay.
Obviously, whether, reducing the amount of oil to cook those eggs, it's always recommended to have it poached, if anything.
Yeah.
In comparison to having it fried, or even, throwing it into your omelets. Or I actually had someone, you're gonna laugh. I had a client tell me that she sculls raw egg every morning.
How's that actually work?
Yeah. And she suffered from anxiety, and she said that she found that helped the most in comparison to any other way that the egg was cooked. She found that sculling that egg in the morning helped her stay calm throughout the entire day. So there you go.
So what about veggies then? Because they do say the more you cook the veggies, the less nutrients you get out of your food. Is that true?
Yeah. It is true. So look, steaming your vegetables is probably the best. Boiling it. So if you think of a broccoli, the way that I like to look at it is, if it starts to shrivel up too much, that means you're kind of killing off those nutrients. So the nutrients will still be present, but what's happening is you're withdrawing those nutrients from that vegetable, from that broccoli piece, and it's actually going into that water, for example. Okay.
Should we be drinking the water as well?
Well, do you know what? Funny that, because it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
So steaming your vegetables, it's probably the best way to consume it. Raw is even better. Deep frying it, you're pretty much killing that vegetable. Yeah. So minimizing that cooking time will obviously benefit the nutrient absorption a lot more.
Yeah. So now that's the healthy food. And we know that the media kind of affects how we perceive food and our relationship with food. And, we know all the unhealthy foods, but is there actually an unhealthy food that can be good for us to eat? In moderation, of course, but if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Again, like I said earlier, I don't like putting labels on food. So, saying that something's unhealthy, it may not give you as many, or may not benefit your health as much as what another food item will give you in terms of the nutrients that are present. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't consume it. So again, eating everything in moderation, making sure that we are consuming a balanced diet. That's your answer.
Right. And so outside of fresh food, what else can we consume to make us feel our absolute best?
Chocolate, and then that's why chocolate there.
Now, is it dark chocolate? Is it dark chocolate?
It is dark chocolate. Dark chocolate is. I know you've got milk chocolate there, but that's okay.
I do.
Dark chocolate 100% will benefit your health, and especially when it comes to anxiety too. I actually read a study. Oh, when was it? It was probably taken, I think it was 2006 to 2008 from memory. They did a study on healthy students school aged during their exam periods, and they noticed that those who did consume dark chocolate the day of their exam actually performed a lot better than those who didn't consume chocolate the same day as their exam. Yes, and it's all to do with the antioxidants that are present within the chocolate, and the calming effects that it does have with inflammation, and then lowering your blood pressure as well, and improving that blood flow. So there's a range of good benefits. There you go.
Do you know, because the dark chocolate does come in a range of percentages, do you know kind of if you wanted that effect, what percentage would you be looking at getting in the dark chocolate?
So I would recommend above 80%.
Oh, okay.
So your 70 to 80 range, it's, I would say, a good way to go. The higher, the better. But anything less than 70%, it is a lot more, you could say, refined. And
it definitely tastes better too.
I know.
70%.
Yeah.
Ah, well, caffeine is also a big one as well. So if we want to balance or keep that balance in our diet, how much caffeine should we be consuming?
Look, there isn't a limit on how much caffeine you should be having per day. I would try to limit it, whether if it's a coffee, for example, limit it to 1 per day. Now there's also a bit of a fun fact for you. It actually takes 32 hours for caffeine to, well, pretty much to rid of caffeine within your body. So if you have a cup of coffee today at
Yep.
say, you had one this morning, 8 a.m.,
Yep.
you'll still have caffeine present within your body until the next day,
Oh,
until lunchtime. Yeah. So
that's
it does
crazy to
take,
think, because there are many people out there that have about like 5 cups of coffee a day. I know my mum does that. It's horrible,
yeah.
but that's incredible.
So there you go, 32 hours for caffeine to be completely removed from the body. So there you go.
Oh my God. I'm not a coffee drinker, but I can imagine what some people would go through. Far out.
Yeah. There you go.
Now, I wouldn't be doing my job properly if I didn't ask you this. Do you have any paranormal experience stories that you can share with us?
Do you know what? To be honest, I don't have a paranormal experience, but I did go through a bit of a rough patch last year. So my grandmother had passed away, and I am very, very close with my grandmother. We did everything together, and it may seem quite scary, Jade, but sometimes I feel like I feel like she's with me when I do certain things, especially things that we used to do together. Like I've never been able to see her, but like I just get this feeling that she's there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know. Like I wish I could see her, and I don't know. You hear things about how people do see,
Yeah.
loved ones, and I don't know. I always have this feeling, especially, and I've told you this last year when my grandmother was going through a bit of a hard time at the start of her, was end of her journey. Sorry, I made her little peaches,
Yes.
and these peaches. So she taught me how to make these peaches, and it's a bit of a tradition. So it means new life or good luck.
Mikhaela's Italian for everyone playing at home.
Yeah. This peach, just for those who don't know, it's a dessert. So it's pretty much, it's a biscuit with a cream filling, and then you soak them in alcohol and a bit of food coloring. So we used to use red or pink, a bright color. So this represents good luck. And since then, I've made it twice. And when I've made these peaches, I swear to you, it felt like she was there helping me make them. It was just a nice feeling, and I think, yeah, that would have to be my experience. It just, yeah, that's it.
She's definitely around you.
Yeah, always.
Always. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Mikhaela. It's been awesome having you on and having your expertise, because I don't know anything about this. But yeah, you can find Mikhaela. I'll leave all the info in the description. It's been awesome having you on. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
And guys, if you like this content, if you want me to get more special guests on, let me know. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, share, and thank you. We'll see you next time.
Fantastic. Thank you.